This week, we're going to be finishing up and we're going to be looking at short term financing and cash management. Looking at how do you use money in the short term. Now, remember, short term is considered any time period less than a year. And when we're talking about cash management, we're talking about how do you deal with the money, the actual money that you have. And it's when we're talking about actual money that you have where the question of liquidity comes in. Now, remember, liquidity is simply how quickly you can turn an asset into cash. So obviously cash is the most liquid asset you could have. Your bank, your checking account, your savings account is very liquid. You can get that money very quickly. But some of our other assets are not quite as liquid. Our homes are not necessarily a very liquid asset because it takes a while to sell them. So when you're talking about liquidity, you're talking about how easily can you sell those assets of your company and turn them into cash if you were to need cash quickly. All right. You can use many types of things for short-term financing. Unsecured debt securities, which are sometimes called end notes. Unsecured meaning there's no collateral behind them. They can come in 1, 3, and 6 month maturities. There's commercial paper. These are considered unsecured promissory notes. Again, a promissory note is a note which is a promise to repay that your company can issue. You can get a bank loan. You could get loans internally, parent to subsidiary to parent, things like that. There are lots of ways of getting money kind of in the short run. But again, we are left with the question that we've been asking all semester is, where do you get the money from? Do you do it domestically? Do you do it internationally? If you do it internationally, then you can offset some foreign receivables. If borrow money where you're going to get the money. Last week we talked about counter trade, where you didn't want necessarily to take money because you didn't want the currency. You can kind of think of that when you're talking about taking a loan in a country where you're going to have receivables. The money comes in and immediately goes out to pay the loan. So, there's an advantage there. You can get the money now rather than wait to get paid. When you do it when you find loans internationally, we talked about this last week, it opens up possibilities to you. It allows you to get lower cost loans. But be careful. What you need to be careful of is, what is the interest rate that you're paying? How do you know you've minimized your costs? what you need to look at is the difference between the actual and the effective interest rates. The actual interest rate is the interest rate the bank is charging you. And you take into account exchange rate changes over the life of the loan. That would be your actual rate. But you also want to know the effective rate. And the effective rate takes into account the compounding of the interest. To calculate, you need to know how much you need to borrow, the current exchange rate, a predicted exchange rate, and the actual exchange rate. Now, this seems a little complicated, but it really is not that bad. Okay. Here, let's look at an example. All right. If you need to borrow €1,000,000, the current exchange rate is €1 equals 50 cents. To get €1,000,000, you need $500,000, right? Now, what happens if over the lifetime of the loan, the value of the dollar against the euro depreciates, meaning that at the time of repayment, €1 equals 60 cents. So now when it comes time to repay, you've got to repay €1,000,000 plus the interest rate. And so you're going to have to repay €1,080,000. In order to do that, you need to come up with $648,000. So the effective rate actually is the $648,000 minus $500,000 divided by $500,000. The effective rate is 29.6%. That's a lot. All right. Interestingly, if the value of the dollar had appreciated, your interest rate would have been negative here. So again, keep in mind all of these different interest rates and what you're actually borrowing. And what versus what you have to repay. What currency should you borrow in? Even if you wanted to, as crazy as it sounds, even if you wanted to, you're an American company, you want to invest in the United States, could you borrow money overseas, exchange it back into dollars, and invest it here? Expand your company, do something with it here. Does that make sense? Well, again, what's the effective interest rate? If it's negative, maybe that makes sense. When you're trying to determine what currency to borrow in, you want to know, is there interest rate parity? Are interest rates going to equilibrate over time? Can you forecast exchange rates effectively? How good are you at looking at or forecasting your exchange rates, exchange rate changes? Because you need all of this stuff in order to understand what your effective rate is going to be. What are you actually paying back? Um, and this leads into the um, concept of cash management. And I think we're going to cut this lecture here because I only have a few minutes left. And yeah, let's go into the second of our lectures.